HIPAA go hand in hand at this point. If you don't have good IT, clearly your HIPAA compliance levels are not going to be good either. And there's been a lot of changes going on with this legislation, especially with individuals learning they can sue and get remedied under their state law for a federal HIPAA violation. So the ante's really been upped for covered entities as well as business associates. And from my experience, and again, I have about 400 to 500 clients out there and have conducted about the same number of risk analysis for both covered entities as well as business associates. It tends to be IT where people get in the biggest trouble with HIPAA, because a lot of practice managers and business owners they don't understand IT, and a lot of good engineers don't always understand the idiosyncrasies of HIPAA. So that's what we're going to be focusing on primarily today. And without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started here. With any presentation, I like to begin with a little bit of background. When we talk about HIPAA, this law has been around in terms of HIPAA security, in terms of the responsibility to secure electronic private health information. It's been around since around 2003. That's when the HIPAA Security Rule came about. It got strengthened in 2009, but still there wasn't really any funding given by the federal government to enforce this law. So it's a bit like the boy who cried wolf. It's been here, but mostly medical practices, hospitals, as well as business associates were just sort of self-governed, self-policed here. There weren't really any repercussions for actions if there was a major violation, or other than you may proactively report through breach notification if something occurred, and yes, maybe a fine would be given out from a nasty breach due to willful neglect. But there was no proactive auditing going on in the past. Also in the past, the practice or the business could only be fined if there was a actual breach. Well, nowadays, if the federal government comes in and audits you, if you don't have adequate IT, you would get fined for that. For example, if your antivirus is not up to enterprise level, if you've got a cheap Linksys firewall protecting your multi-million-dollar medical practice or business, or protecting thousands of health records, that would be a major issue. If a penetration test shows that you guys have multiple TCP ports open that shouldn't be open, that could be a major problem, and that's where a lot of huge issues do occur. If you're not encrypting your backups, that would be a IT issue that could lead to a fine. There's a lot of pieces here, and clearly an hour and a half isn't enough time to touch on everything, but we're really going to get into the importance of why we need to secure that information technology as it relates to HIPAA. And so the boy who cried wolf is sort of a little analogy here. If you remember the old tale when we were kids, the little boy kept crying wolf, 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 sort of like this law. They say do this, do this, do this. Well, nothing ever happened. There was no wolf. The wolf never arrived. But that is changed. A wolf has arrived. The HIPAA police are here.